everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel and another installment of Easy with me, CZ. Today we're going to ink blend a beautiful rainbow through a stencil. We're going to make a little mistake and we're going to change our mind. Sometimes when you screw up and you're tempted to toss the project, you know what? Look at it with different eyes and salvage that card. You can do it. All right, let's take a look at the products I'm using today. This is a stamp set I created called Sassy Insides, and it is sassy. It's meant to be sent to, the sassy friends who would appreciate something like this. But I'm also going to use one of the greetings for the front. I've got a gorgeous rainbow of ink from Simon Says Stamp, this wonderful Fading Hearts stencil, and I've got some ink blending brushes, as well as some cardstock. Neenah Solar White Classic Crest, a couple pieces here in the 110 pound. And some embossing ink and powder, but this is going to change. You're going to have to stick around to see how it shakes out. All right, let's get started. I'm going to use my Make Art Station, the small one from Wendy Vecchi, pop down a piece of cardstock, and then place my stencil over the top. This tool has been a great little find for me because these magnets are really strong. It gives you this nice firm surface to work on. But I am going to mask off the edges here just because I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to trim this panel down. I will trim it down, but just to be safe, I'm just going to cobble together some Post-it notes to keep it protected. I'll load up my first color, and this is Cotton Candy, and gently start blending it on. I don't want to have too heavy of a hand because I want to build up the color, and so I'm starting out lightly. But you can see how the magnets are holding the stencil in place. No ink is going outside of the stencil boundary, right? Easy peasy. Moving on to my orange, which is Simon Says Stamp Melon. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got my little Positively Everything tool. And among the many uses, you can pop your ink pad down onto your surface, put a pad in place, and you don't have to hold your pad because it will hold it securely while you pick up your ink. I'm overlapping a little here to get that nice transition and bringing in my third color, Lemon Chiffon. So I'm just following a basic rainbow. Jellybean Green is next. And again, I just switch out the brushes and, I clean off my brushes a little bit before I go just by running them over like a paper towel. But for these smaller areas, I thought I would bring in this cool new little blender tube set. And the cool thing is, they aren't foams, but they are actual little brushes. So it's really nice for when you want to get into some small spaces. So my next color is Scuba. And now I can just bring that in a smaller, more controlled area. I'm going to overlap that Jellybean Green a little bit. And I'm going to use that same brush to bring in my last color, which is Hot Mama. Gorgeous purple. Love this color. And that way, I did not forget about purple in this rainbow. But there you go. I'm overlapping again just to create a little bit of a transition between the Scuba and the Hot Mama. And now I'll grab my bigger brushes and just go over again to blend out those transition areas where they appear. The last one, a little bit of yellow. And now we get to do the fantastic peel and reveal to see what it looks like. I love this moment because you know what? I always can't believe that I just did that. Isn't that pretty? You could kick out a number of these, right? And have card bases for any greeting. I love that idea. So I'm going to take an A2 layers die from Waffle Flower, the second size in, to cut out this panel. So I'm not cutting away a lot, but just a little. And that's going to give me a really nice panel that I'm going to be popping onto a card base. But first we're going to stamp on this. I want to use the Obsessed With You greeting because I think it's an awesome greeting. I say it to the people I really like. So I'm getting it lined up, right? Popping it down. And I'll go ahead and pick this up with the Misty Door. All right, get that up there. You can always use your Misty too to see how well your sentiment is lined up. And I have been stamping other projects with this, so it's got a little bit of staining and it's really easy for me to see that. And then I'll go ahead and get ready to stamp. Now, one of the things that I forgot to do, number one, was powder. Number two, I forgot to really let the ink dried. Now it is dye ink, right? It will dry, but if you don't wait long enough, well, you're about to see what happens. I sprinkle on my powder, and my powder stuck everywhere. Now, here's the thing. This is definitely a look, right? You could go with this look. It almost creates a little fade. This was not the look I wanted. So I had to make a decision. Do I start over? Do I go with it? And it wasn't tapping off. So instead, I changed my mind. I took a fluffy fan brush and just brushed all the powder away. Now this is not powder you're going to want to filter back in because it's contaminated with the Versamark. But here's the good news. I still have my stamp inside my MISTI. So I had a choice. Let it dry completely or just change my idea for the card. So that's what I did. The stamp is still there, right? Nothing moved. So I inked it up with black ink and stamped it right over where the Versamark had been. So sometimes it's a good idea just to leave your stamps in your MISTI before you're done, because then you can change your mind. All right. Whew, crisis averted. All right, we're scoring our card base. This will be a USA2 top folding, so it scores at 5.5. But before we fold this down, let's stamp the greeting. And let's do it free range style. So the other thing that this Make Art Station is good for, stamping, because it's this nice surface, right? And it's hard and you can magnet everything down. So I'm gonna snag that greeting because I think it's funny. And the person who's getting this card will, she knows who she is and she'll appreciate the sassy greeting. I'm gonna pick that up with a block, just kind of rub off the coating because I haven't used this stamp yet. Grab my black ink. Now I've got a little piece of scratch paper in there. When I am doing this free range stamping, which is basically any stamping without the MISTI tool, I like to practice once, and if I nail it, then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna nail it a second time. I'm gonna hold my breath here and stamp. Nailed it. Yes, free range stamping. There's never a dull moment. All right, so that is the inside of my card. I'm trying to make a habit to show this a little more often because I often do stamp greetings on the inside, but I don't always show them. It's one of my goals going forward. So we'll give that a nice press. I've got 3 strips of foam tape on the back of my blended and stamped panel. Get this lined up and pop it down. Isn't that cute? I think the black is better than what gold embossed would have been. So now I'll sprinkle my sequins, get a little liquid glue, and place them down. Boop. Did you know it helps to say that when you're going? Boop. It's just a habit, but I do it when I do this. Boop. And I swear every time I don't do it, I mess up. Boop. And the final. Oh, come on now, glue. Boop. And that is the finished card project. So it would have looked a little different, right, with the gold embossing, but you know what? I messed up, but there was no need to start over. And that is a fantastic finished card project. So the next time you're working on something and mess up, take a deep breath and think about how you can fix it. Because you can. You're that good. Thanks for watching today. We would love to have you become a subscriber to the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit that bell so you get notified every time there's a new video. I'll see you back here again next month with another installment of Easy with CZ.